Hi everyone, I'm Trev from Coiltek, and I'm going to do a short video now with a good friend and prospector from New England in the USA. His name's Leighton Harrington, and he's been detecting for around 50 years plus. So he's certainly seen plenty of things over the years, plenty of different detectors, and he's found plenty of cool stuff. Hey Leighton, how are you going?
Hey, I'm doing very well, and thanks for having me tonight, Trevor. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. You too. It's always been great to catch up. And, it's good to talk about these new coils with you because you've been using them for a little bit now through the testing period and, through our, out in the field period where we just need to keep getting results and information back. And today I want to just have a chat with you about the largest of the three that we're releasing and also the largest coil that you can get for the Equinox detector, which is the 15-inch round. So I know that you've used the 15 by 12 quite a bit over the years, but the 15-inch round coil will give some other opportunities out there. How have you found the performance and coil attributes with the 15-inch round so far?
Oh, very good. Very good as far as coverage goes. Depth is phenomenal. And the weight on this particular 15-inch round is outstanding. Easy to swing all day long with no problems at all. I love it.
Great. I mean, yeah, being a bigger coil, it naturally has to be a bit heavier because, there's more parts and items in there that just make it a bit bigger and heavier. But, it's quite a robust coil. What about the design of the coil and the shaft attachment area? How have you found that?
Excellent. I love the little bends in where the ears are and and where the shaft actually slides right in. It's easy to line up. If you're switching coils all day long or every other trip, you don't have to buy an extra shaft. It's simple. I love the wing nut design. It's perfect.
Oh, that's great. I mean, the
Yeah.
wings we've made as strong as possible because obviously we know that these coils have to get in and around areas. People tend to use them quite extensively, pushing through stubble or sand or banging into rocks. How have you found the stability in regards to the coil when you're swinging it?
Yeah, very good actually. In fact, with it being balanced, I actually tend to like the 15-inch round a little bit better than the 14 by 9. I know we're distinctly talking about the 15, but honestly, it seems like it's even a little better.
Well, that's certainly some different attributes there.
Mhm.
So as far as the 15-inch round goes, you've used the 15 by 12. What would you say in regards to depth differences and some comparisons there on those two coils?
I'd have to say you nailed it better this time than last time. Last time was great. This time was even better. I just recently found a couple of US large cents in a cornfield with the 15-inch round. And and now that I think of it, we went back a couple of days later, and I found a couple of King George coins, 1739s, and they're all, I'd say, at least 10 inches to 12 inches deep. All three of those coins.
And so would you say that the 15 round would have more depth than the 15-12?
I think so, yeah. In my particular area, yes, I would have to say so.
Well, usually round coils do have better depth capabilities to the equivalent length of elliptical coils. So, for instance, a 15-inch elliptical versus a 15-inch round, the round coil does have a broader magnetic field. So, we would expect more depth
Mm.
than that. Have you had any, chances where you've gone overground with the 15 by 12 and maybe found something different with the 15 round?
I haven't been able to compare them side by side, but that is on the list, and I have a perfect field for that. So yeah, that's something that we're going to definitely try in the future. Right now, I'm kind of a guy, like I think I told you earlier. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So I
Mm.
tend to fit into a particular category. If I'm finding, I'm not going to switch, not right away. Now, maybe later or somewhere in the future where I can have them side by side, yeah, I'll definitely do that.
So where would you find that the 15-inch round coil would be best suited? What sort of conditions when you're detecting?
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm definitely a beach hunter too. I love getting in the water with that particular model. Real easy to slide. It glides right along the sand as I'm out in even up to neck deep water. So I've done very well. Um, I don't know if I told you or not, but I did find a nice little goodie. So I was able to locate this beautiful 1.5 carat diamond gold ring. Yeah, she's about 1.5 carats. She's got
Wow.
29 diamonds all around her.
Finding stuff like that is what the reward's all about with different coils. These coils provide different opportunities out in the field. So where would you hunt with this on dry land? Like, is it good sort of in and around the playgrounds or open parks?
I would do it. I would tend to stay in a playground more than I would do a park with that because it is 15 inch. And in our particular parks, they are very, very trashy. Now, that could work to your benefit or it could be making you get frustrated. So I would go with, maybe a playground or something like that versus the park where there's tons and tons of traffic. Yes, you are going to find more in a park, but I think quality speaks for itself over quantity. And, I'm the type of guy that likes to dig nothing less than 7 inches. That's a personal preference that I choose. Not that other people don't save all their clad coinage or new coinage and put that towards their gas funds at the end of the year. I do dig that too, but it's on accident that I do it. Like if I'm on the beach, because I dig everything. But, in a park, 7 inches is my golden rule. I will not even get down on the ground. If you're looking for old stuff, the 15-inch coil, because of its depth, that's the way to go.
Yeah, coverage and depth for this large coil, I think, is going to be its
Absolutely.
main attribute. I know Gordon in the UK
Yes.
has been waiting for a big round coil like this because he knows he's got plenty of these ploughed fields where there's
Right.
really deep Roman coins and treasures out there that the 15 by 12 can hit a lot of them, but really what we're talking about with just these subtle differences between the coils can mean an inch in the ground. So if you're getting an
Right.
inch in the ground more than the 15 by 12 over all
Right.
the ground you've walked before, you can
Right.
imagine what might be sitting in that inch that's just out of the reach of those other coils.
Absolutely. That's right. Yes. And, just because the Equinox has a faster processor doesn't mean that you should be walking fast. A
Mm.
lot of people get confused that, oh, I can go faster. All that's telling you is that, the processor still has to let you know whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
So then we also have the other processor, our brain.
Yeah.
So did that sound good? Or did it sound bad? So, there's a couple of other, like you said, attributes that you have to take into consideration. If you're going over a place too fast with the old 15 by 12, it's two different animals when you've got the 15 by round.
Yeah, yeah. And what about pinpointing and sensitivity with this larger coil? How have you found that?
Yeah, yeah, very good question. I mean, pinpointing to me has always been relatively easy. I don't even use the pinpoint mode, but it's because of all of my experience that I've used. I noticed that if I once get a tone, if it sounds good right away, I'll stop, obviously, and just go over it, a little bit faster than I would have if I was just going on one direction from left to right. And as far as pinpointing, if that kind of makes sense to everybody that's watching, it's one of those things that you learn. It doesn't take very much time, but I'm sure you could have it down in one particular hunt. And as far as pinpointing goes, it's a snap, real easy.
Just using that sort of nose of the coil where the target is,
Correct.
just working your way up to it and then going 90 degrees, and you can work with your pinpointing mode like that, or using the button. The pinpoint mode would work whether you press the button. It still works the same as the standard coils from mine.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to throw in there just one more time about the depth. With that 15-inch coil in a park or wherever you decide, like Gordon said, over in England, he is going to have a ball. He's going to eat it up. I can't wait to see his videos.
You said something before about getting used to the coil. These 3 coils are different to the Minelab ones, and people that either have one of the Minelab coils or all 3 get to know their pinpointing characteristics and abilities. So there will be a little bit of a learning curve with these new coils to understand them. And it's maybe even especially the 15, because it's such a broader coil, it's going to talk to you a little bit more if there's more trash around. Did you find that learning curve with these new coils very long, or are there any comments that you can make for people that are unsure whether they should get a new coil?
Yeah, stick with it is the main thing. You know, have confidence in what you're using. Don't think that there's something wrong. Don't start playing with buttons. You know, my sensitivity mode in all of these coils, including the 15-inch, has always been around 16 or 17. Now, that doesn't say that, you know, it couldn't be better or worse if you went up or down in the scale. But for me, on most of my beaches and land, I'm around 16 or 17. Now, there are, you know, occasions and a couple of things to the rule, you know, you might want to go up or down. But for the most part, very easy. If I had to tell someone, you know, how to go about it, I mean, you know, as well as I do, you can tell someone how to do it multiple times until they actually do it themselves. That's what's going to, oh yeah, now I get it. So yeah, it's a little bit of practice. It didn't take me very long. I'd say a couple hours. You know, I had it down pretty good. But again, I've been doing it for a long time. And, you know, I've learned some of the tricks of the trade. If there's really a trick, I would have to stay focused. Stay focused. Don't let no one interrupt you. Take your time. The machine is working perfect. The coil is doing what it's supposed to do. And I promise you, you're going to find good stuff. You will find good stuff.
It's about just persisting with the coil. If you do, you know, get one of our new coils, especially the 15-inch, and we do appreciate your support if you do that. Certainly just take the time with it. Don't automatically think that it's going to revolutionize everything. Don't automatically think that it's going to do worse than anything else, and work your way slowly to get used to it. That way you can really see its performance attributes and go to areas where you've had the 15x12. I wouldn't just go and find new areas. I'd actually go back to areas where you've had that larger coil before and found some deep stuff that's been really good, and take the 15 back over there. You just never know if you walk a slight different way, or you just tuned in a little bit more. Like you said, Leighton, with that brain as well as the detector, you can find some opportunities out there for sure.
You know, out in the water, I recently got these 3 rings. I'm sure you can see those. You know, this is one of the greatest hobbies that were ever invented. It's a great hobby, and you get rewarded every time you find something. Whether it's junk or not, everything is treasure. You know, what might be treasure to you might not be to me. But to me, it might be to not that next person. Some people, you know, school bells or coins or whatever your little gig is. I particularly like doing a lot of water hunting, and I love finding rings. I love it. And and thanks to you guys over there at Coiltek, you know, it's just opened up a whole new world for me. It really has. It's like going back and starting all over again back in 1972. Especially after a storm. And, you know, with today's technology, it's just been that one extra step that was not available to us back in the good old days. So again, thanks to you guys. I mean, it's been really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. No problems. And also, you know, we can't take away from the actual detector itself. It's a great detector from Minelab, the Equinox, and we're really, really pleased to be able to collaborate with them to release these coils. You know, certainly the security devices in the coils and the detectors now are very hard to crack. So you can be assured that you're getting authorized parts and genuine parts from Coiltek to make sure that they work properly with the machine, and there's no cutting or anything like that you need to do. It's just plug and play, and these coils have been designed to make sure that they optimize your opportunity out there with that detector. Is there any other cool finds that you've found with this coil, or any other comments that you can make to someone that might be sort of umming and erring about, you know, should I get the 15? I've got the 15 by 12. Should I get it? What other things would you tell them before they make that purchase?
Well, first of all, I think I speak from experience, and I have a lot of people that ask me personally, and I'll have to be honest with you. I've had a lot of people that I've wanted to tell about these coils. I've had a hard time keeping my mouth, let's say, sealed.
We were looking to release it too, but I know with the stuff that you've been finding over the several months you've been using them, it's been probably very hard for you to keep sealed.
Absolutely. So with that being said, I did my diligent part. I did not tell anybody. And as far as, you know, it's as good as what I'm finding. So as you noticed, my postings never said anything about a Coiltek coil until it was okay from you for me to release that we had the new ones. So with me saying which one, it depends on where you are. What are you doing as far as hunting? What are you specifically doing, just cornfields? I could recommend the 14 by 9, the 15-inch round, definitely out in the water, as you just saw with all the rings, and the 5 by 10, beautiful, beautiful work of art, I kid you not, down on the beach in the wet sand area in between all these rocks. So every coil has its particular instance for use. That's what I would first ask. What are you doing? And then I could recommend the proper coil for you. That's what I would say.
You know, they're all got their own attributes themselves. Each coil has its different attributes on the field. You have small coils for sensitivity and maneuverability, medium coils for, you know, a bit more depth, but still has good sensitivity. When you go large, you gain a little bit more depth and coverage, and you lose a bit of sensitivity, but it's surprising, you know, that with these new machines, the Equinox, how much sensitivity these larger coils have. What would be your preferred coil? So if you could choose one of these coils only, which one would you go for?
If someone was asking me what I prefer, because of my situation right now here in the New England area, and because of all the Northeast storms, I would pick the 10 by 5. I've done fantastic with it.
All three of these coils are fully approved from Minelab. They're fully submersible. They are in and amongst the standard Minelab coils. So in between the sizes, and also different shapes as well, elliptical versus round. You know, so with the 10 by 5 versus the 15, would you take sort of a 10 by 5 and a 15 to the same area and use it in the same area?
Not in the same area, but the same geological area, yes. So the 15-inch I would use on dry sand, wet sand, or out in the water.
Yep.
In the rocks, I would not use it because, again, each coil has their own spot. And the 10 by 5 is what I find that works best for me in my rocky areas that we have here in New England, especially after a New England storm.
And so that's because of the maneuverability in between the rocks and those areas.
Correct, right. The 14 by 9 I have used out in the water and done just as well. Again, it would depend on who was asking me, what part of the United States they were in, and are they more beach hunter versus a dirt hunter, park hunter. So again, I've tried these coils everywhere, with the exception of doing cellar holes that are out in the woods. I have not had a chance to get out in the woods. That's not my forte so much because I don't have a lot in my particular area, but I know there are other guys that have been doing them out there.
So with the 3 coils, someone's out there looking for you know, smaller stuff. What would be the best coil for them to use?
Well, that's a good question. And I would have to choose the 10 by 5 again because of the separation in a park or something like that. And most people that have lost something will tend to put you in a pretty good area where they believe they've lost it. So, you know, you might not get as much coverage right away, but you're definitely going to get much more separation. So if you know what you're looking for, you know, low tone being gold, mid tone be regular coinage, and then high tone would be the way I have it set up on the Equinox is, you know, as silver. So if you're looking, let's say, for a gold tone ear stud, you'll know that with that small coin, you're definitely covering each inch that you need to.
Well, that's,
so that's
great, Leighton. We've certainly got some really good info here, and I think people that are watching will have a little bit more information on these coils to make them feel a bit more comfortable about what they may need and where. And each coil will do something different. Not one's going to do it all, that's for sure. So depending on your areas, like you're saying, you know, the right coil for the right area, geological area, and the type of hunting that you do, whether it's on dry land, on the sand, or in the water, there's certainly opportunities out there. So we do appreciate you talking with us, Leighton. We really appreciate it, and we wish you best with all your detecting.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really do appreciate these new coils. And thank goodness I can actually tell somebody I'm using them. So thanks for having me tonight, and good luck in the future. And if you need some more help, anytime, give me a call.
Yeah, hit Leighton up on the Facebook. He does join our Coiltek group and also is out there as a pretty active YouTuber and that as well. So you can always check out his videos of his finds, and we'll chuck up a few more finds over time from Leighton. We do appreciate it, mate. Have a great evening.